Right, Deb, ready to go live?
Yeah, ready. I think.
Perfect. Sure?
Yeah.
Well,
Go for it.
Hey, good evening. I'm Andy.
And I'm Debs.
Stay tuned.
It's Codes of the Unknown.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, everyone. So tonight we are joined by Michaela Ford and Michael Kopf. So, but before we carry on, nickname and everyone else in the chat, please can you stop talking in riddles? We have no idea what any of you are talking about. Joe, Joe, nickname, and Umbra. We are completely lost.
You've been sniffing the bin again.
Yeah. I've no words. I've got no words. So,
yeah. No, I can't even know. Anyway,
can I just say a paragraph long podcast would be far too long. Don't you think?
Slightly.
Yeah. So moving on from that, over to you, Deborah.
We have Michaela from the
Hello.
Give us a little bio about what you do.
I have a very small, modest paranormal podcast called Paranormal or What, on which I interview lovely people like Deborah and other interesting people in the paranormal world. And it's a bit of a mixture. I also tell true paranormal stories, all about cryptids and ghosts and UFOs and everything, and we just generally have a lot of fun on there. And I also write for an American online paranormal magazine called Paranormality Magazine, which you must all subscribe to and go out and buy immediately because it's amazing. It's a fabulous high quality magazine, and that's about it at the moment, really.
Jolly good. Welcome.
Thank you. And Michael, do you want to give a little spiel about you?
So I'm a paranormal investigator here in the U.S. Actually, I'm in the state of Texas. And let's see. I've been investigating for about 5 years now. I have almost 100 investigations in that time, not counting homes And so I am a part of several teams, and it's the Tribe, which was formed in Mineral Wells. We're a kind of para-unity tribe where we're a bunch of different teams. We get together and investigate together. Ghost Ship Hunters is a global group. Sirens of the Expanses is up north. Potter Paranormal is a team that I work with that's in Mineral Wells, and their objective is to do like paranormal 101 type investigations where they teach people how to investigate properly and using the right methods and how to use equipment. I'm also a member of Misfits Paranormal Research Group, where we go and investigate actually as Sirens of the Expanses, but Misfits kind of does the research.
Right.
And I recently joined a new team, and last time I was on, I got a lot of heat that I didn't mention this team, so I'm going to make sure she knows I'm mentioning them now.
Yeah.
It's Southern Fried Spirits Paranormal.
I love the name.
And so, and I have a YouTube channel, Michael.Kopf, that I post paranormal topic videos where if I haven't been there, I research it and show you the research I put together. No, I don't do voiceovers. I'm not technically advanced yet enough to do that. And I'll share videos of investigations. So that is me in a short little nutshell.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Well, it's great to have you both here.
Yes. So
thank you.
Yeah. So
good to be back.
Thank you, and thank you, Michaela, for agreeing to come on tonight. Really appreciate it.
That's okay. I forgot I'm a paranormal investigator as well. It's a rather big thing to leave out, really, isn't it? I was only just poking around some ruins last Saturday, and I completely forgot to mention it.
What ruins were you poking around?
What kind of ruins?
It's in Chichester, where I live. There's an old folly called Racton Ruins or Racton Monument, and is said to be haunted by a lady, and there's also been some mysterious devil worship going on there. So we had quite an interesting night. It was really fun.
Yeah. Did you get anything?
We did, in fact. So I go ghost hunting with a group called Sussex Paranormal Society. Hi guys. And it was just me and the guys out this weekend because the ladies couldn't come along, and it was really interesting how the dynamic changes when different people come along. And one of the guys saw an orb with his, how he described it, his bare eyes, and and a few people were pushed. We didn't get any EVPs, but we did get some interesting photos as well. So it wasn't wow, but it was interesting.
Oh yeah, love stuff like that.
So Michaela, have you done any live events?
I haven't, no. Mainly because I'm going to play my violin now. I'm a primary school teacher, so at the moment I don't have enough hours in my week to even do what I'm doing. I'd love to be able to do it in the future. Plus, I'm not very technically adept, so I'm small steps, technical wise.
Yeah.
I only ask because I have a friend that he runs Erie Expeditions Paranormal, and he set up a group called Night Owl Paranormal Society and did a live investigation of a battleship while docked.
Wow.
And I was one of the guest hosts on it. So he's got another one coming up next month.
Oh, that was
they look really fun.
Yeah.
It was really fun. And halfway through it, the other guest host besides me was my friend from Amaned Paranormal, and she and I are sitting there talking, and we're like, because it's muted and we can't get them to unmute. You know, this feels like one of those live TV shows. We started cracking up.
It never goes smoothly.
Nope.
No,
No.
never.
It would
There's
not be
always
live if it did.
No.
Yeah. I
And
think
where's
it
the-
adds to the entertainment, though.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can't beat it. Right. So obviously I've got you guys on together because you both do similar sorts of things. One of you's in the UK, one's in the US. So I wanted to know what are the main differences of investigating in the UK compared to investigating in America, and obviously vice versa.
I would
Who wants-
Who do you want
say
first?
Well, first,
Who?
I would say the obvious is UK has a much longer history, a much
Yeah.
richer history than we do. So you have more to investigate than we do.
Yeah.
You see, I beg to differ because your country's so much bigger, and some of the places the thing that I've noticed about the places that I've been, and this just might be my experience, is that a lot of the places we investigate with our group are actually quite small places, and you end up just going round and round and round and round for a few hours of the same place, whereas
Right.
you've got some amazing big juicy kind of abandoned prisons and asylums, and they're so vast and in the middle of nowhere. They look much more terrifying, I think, than a lot of the places that I've visited here. So I suppose it swings and roundabouts, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
I'd love to investigate an asylum. Is it
So would
Waverley?
I.
Waverley House.
Waverly Hills
Waverley Hills. That's it.
is a sanatorium. That's one of the famous ones.
Yeah.
That's on my bucket list. I haven't been there yet either.
I've seen a few ghost shows on that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Yeah, I've got a big list of places I'd love to go in America.
Yeah.
I think I need to come over for a few months.
Yeah, and that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing. It's such a big. You'd have to choose where you wanted to go, which part you wanted to go. I know this is a bit off topic, but my mate cycled across America. He went to California and cycled across to New York. Did it in 3
Oh, my
months.
God.
Well, he had to
Wow.
do it in 3 months because that's how long his visa was. He didn't
Yeah.
have a choice. But,
No pressure.
Yeah, so what
Have
he
a
was saying,
glass.
he's like
Yeah.
he was stopping in hostels and guest houses and that, or just sleeping in the open air, having washing in the river and all that kind of stuff. But he said he went through that many places, but he couldn't stop and have a look because obviously time wasn't on his side. He had to keep pretty much moving every day.
Right.
So
It is. It's
Yeah,
so
you
vast.
pretty much would have to break it to the east, to the west, central, north, and south.
Yeah.
So there's 5 different main areas that you'd have to stop and try and do if you're going to do it in short bursts.
yeah, I think it'd mean a few visits.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, Michael, what's the most haunted place where you near where you are? Would you say?
Ooh, the most haunted place near me, I would have to say, is the tie between Fort Walters and Old Park Hotel in Ballinger.
Wow.
The
That sounds
reason I
interesting.
say that
Yeah.
is Old Park Hotel has a county jail across the street from it.
Right.
And so there's a lot of, we think, spirits that travel back and forth between the two. And so there's a lot of history there from that. And it's been around from the 1800s, so there's history there too from that. And there was a flood in the area. And Fort Walters, I just was looking up, was part of the Indian Wars in the 1800s. It was disputed Indian land, and then it was in the 10s, I think it was, it became a military base called Camp Walters for World War One. And then in World War II, they became, I believe it was Army. And we had 2 soldiers that went through that got Medal of Honor and were the most decorated. I believe it was Lieutenant Green, if memory serves right, and Audie Murphy, which a lot of people know him from movies.
Yeah.
And we also, I like to talk with the owner about this one, is we also had the worst soldier, Eddie Slavonik. I believe is how you pronounce his last name. And he was charged for desertion, and he's the first soldier since the Civil War to be charged for desertion.
Right.
And he was he would train at Camp Walters, and then they closed it down, and it was a POW camp for Germany too. So that adds a historic element.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it then closed for a while, reopened as Fort Walters during Vietnam, and the helicopter pilots were trained there. Right, so you got the Indians, 2 world wars, POWs. So there's a lot of rich history there too in a small little area.
Wow. What about where you are, Michaela?
There are quite a few haunted places. Funnily enough, I live quite close to Portsmouth. And obviously there's a huge seafaring history there. And I've done investigations in Portsmouth tunnels and the old forts that are up on the hill looking down over the sea, and also Porchester Castle. So there's a lot of really haunted places around there, which are really, really fun to do. But all very windy and cold.
Yeah, that's the problem near the sea.
They're all outside. I'd like to get inside one of those battleships at Portsmouth old dockyard, but I'm not sure we'd be able to get permission.
Oh, it's something you could look into, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We've also got a very
really
haunted. Cool. It would be amazing. We've got a very haunted pub, which is literally just down the road from me, but they haven't let me do an investigation yet because they've always got guests. It's also sort of a hotel, and they said that they won't do it if anyone's staying over. So kind of one day I might just book a room and start book a room and poke around at night.
Closed for refurbishment.
Yeah.
As soon as you know I was going to come in now.
I just thought of the perfect tagline to bring in people to their establishment. Enjoy your spirits with the spirits.
Yeah, that
sounds good to me. Yeah. I have to say yet, though, and I'm probably going to be hoisted by my own petard at some point in the future. I've never been on an investigation where I've been scared. So either I'm very brave or I'm not investigating the right places.
Yeah,
I have to say, some of the ones that I've seen on, on the US TV shows, I think, oh my goodness, I'd be terrified. I want to go there, but I haven't as yet. How about you, Michael? Have you been really scared by anything that you've witnessed?
Actually, I have to join you on that one. In all my investigations, I have yet to be in a location to where I was like, I am freaking out and had to run out the building. I have, on a couple occasions, been scared a little bit to where it's like a frozen place trying to figure out what happened. But I always stayed in the room and it never caused me to run. So I'm with you on that one. I haven't had a cause to leave a location yet out of what's going on.
I'll tell you where I'd like to go. Sorry. Have you seen Island of the Dolls? I can't remember. Is it in Louisiana?
Yes, it's in Mexico.
Oh, Mexico, that looks terrifying.
It's in Mexico.
Oh my goodness.
It does.
There's something about dolls.
Although, let's be honest, any room full of dolls is going to creep you out.
All those eyes.
But yes, a whole island of them. Oh yeah.
Wasn't that the one where the guy was on the island and he found a doll and he just put it up in the tree, and then everyone else started putting dolls up?
Yeah.
Is that
that
story?
Yeah. And apparently a young girl drowned in the river, and her spirit kind of wanders around and frightens people.
Ooh, nice.
I think I watched a documentary on that as well.
Yeah,
I watched a lot of things.
I've seen videos for that on YouTube.
Yeah, it's creepy. Very creepy.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Josh Gates went there with his show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might have been the one that I watched.
Yeah. That one, though, I swear, if a doll starts talking, I probably would run because there's nobody there putting batteries in those things. So that would be a definite something's talking to you.
And you're off.
Bye now.
Right. Should we jump straight into the questions?
Yeah, go on then.
Right. So the first one,
been a few.
For both of you, this is from Nickname. What got you both into the paranormal?
No, we're both politely waiting for each other now.
Right. We're waiting to see who Andy's directed it to.
Ladies first, then.
Ladies first.
Okay, I'll give you the short version because I feel like it's really quite a long story. I was about 8 years old. I was in my school playground at lunchtime, and we had a bit of a sort of a legend at our school, a bit like the Bloody Mary legend, but we called it the zombie. Now, it's not a zombie in the kind of the traditional sense of the word. We were just little kids, and it was our name for the monster that people claimed to see. Anyway, one day we all saw these figures in the field across from the sports field, 3 of them, and they were all dressed like the Grim Reaper, and they all had staffs, and they were herding cattle up the field. And the cows weren't scared; they were walking slowly, and these 3 hooded figures were following them. And all of us, there were about 20 of us, children, we all saw them, and we were screaming and shouting, "The zombies, the zombies, it's the zombies." And the really terrifying thing was that the adults couldn't see them. It was such a big deal that they rang the bell and we all went in. We had to go back into school. And then I didn't think anything about it till about, it must have been 20 years later. And I went to visit a lady who lives nearby. She was the same age as me. And I got talking about this thing because her house backed onto the field where this had happened. And I went, "Oh, you'll never guess what I saw when I was 8 years old, blah, blah, blah." And I told her the story, and she just turned around and looked at me and went, "Oh, I see them all the time." And it turns out that she's quite sensitive, and she sees, and it really corroborated the story for me, because it was 20 years later. It was somebody completely independent. I expected her to laugh at what I said, and then when she turned around and said, "Oh, I see them all the time," it really freaked me out. And it's so much so that I've been obsessed ever since. I was always interested after I saw those when I was 8, always interested in the paranormal. But that was really a moment for me. And I've learned later that they're called the Genii Cuculati, and they are land spirits. And apparently they're from kind of the times when, I was going to say Celtic times, but that doesn't really help, does it? A long time ago anyway, and they look after the land, and apparently they're also guardians of children as well. So
right. So they're benevolent rather than sinister.
Yeah. It was just amazing.
So do you think that's why it was only you lot when you were kids that could see them? and on the adults.
I think it must have been. Yeah, it must have been. But it really scared the adults because you can imagine all these children shouting and screaming about zombies, and you're looking and going, where? And they're going, there. And you're going, I can't see anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was amazing.
Probably had to freak them out more than it freaked you guys out because
yeah,
they're like,
I was fascinated.
How do we, round up what we can't see?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was desperate to get over there. Even then, I even asked one of the teachers if I could go over closer to have a look, and she said no. But even then, I just wanted to get closer to see what they were.
Yeah.
Michael?
Well, I had an experience when I was 2, and I kind of wrote it off. And then growing up, I'd always have like memories of stuff that never happened to me, or were like different places. Like I could walk into some people's homes and know where everything is, even though I'd never been there.
Yeah.
And so kind of finding out that I've kind of been growing up in the paranormal. So it's kind of interesting to think, what got me in it. It's like, I pretty much almost feel like I was born in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really can't think of a time when I wasn't in the paranormal and either having experiences or just momentary things. And so for me, it's a lot different in that I view like spirits are neither good or bad. It's just how we perceive them because for me, I've been growing up with them. So it's like I have a different approach than other people.
Yeah. So start with Michael. Do you both think though that it's now part of everyday life for you?
Oh, I do. It's a lot of times I'll be like in situations to where someone's saying something, I'm like, oh yeah, I do this. I'd love to do this for a living, but I'm an investigator, and they're like, really? It's like it's no longer like, no, go away. It's like, really? Oh, cool. So and they like ask questions and they want to know like what have you experienced? And then they're like, oh, I had this experience. What do you think that? And it's like, wow, people are starting to actually open up and come forward with it instead of the past where it was like, no, we don't talk about this.
Yeah.
It's not as taboo, is it? As what it used to be.
No, and I gotta say, I'm not really a fan of a lot of how the TV shows do it, but they have made it mainstream thinking, so people are more open to talk about it.
Yeah. And I think the more people that you see on TV coming out and telling their stories, that encourages more people to think, actually, I've had an experience and I want to talk about it. So,
look at how many famous people are coming forward now with stuff that they've gone through or encountered.
Yeah.
It's just every time, everything. Every time you look at someone, there's another famous person saying they've seen stuff or they've encountered something.
Yeah. I think it's
yeah. Michaela?
I find... Sorry.
No, that's right. I was just going to repeat the question just in case you'd forgot or anything.
I was going to say, I mean, it's very much a part of my life every day. And what I've found is that particularly in the last few years, I'd say even before I started the podcast, the more I've read about the paranormal, the more I seem to experience it. Now, I will just clarify what I mean here. I don't mean that, because it really annoys me when there are people, especially on television, who think that everything's paranormal. Everything that happens has to be paranormal. Every, movement in the bush is a Bigfoot. Every light in the sky is a UFO. I'm actually quite skeptical. And when we go on our investigations, I look at everything with a very critical eye. But I have noticed that myself, I seem to be having a lot more experiences. I don't know if I'm more open to it now, or maybe I'm more observant. But I'm having a lot more experiences of all different kinds than I ever have before. Seeing things out of the corner of your eye and shadows and noises. Haven't seen a UFO yet, so that's an experience I'm hoping to have one time. Obviously, I haven't seen a Bigfoot, but I haven't had an experience either that I could equate to it in the UK, if you know what I mean. But definitely lots of paranormal type things seem to be happening. And I don't know if it's because I'm more tuned in. I'd love to be able to open myself up more to these experiences, but I'm slightly scared because I don't really know how to do it or how to control it. But I'd be interested in finding out more how to do that sort of thing.
Yes. Thank you.
Right, next question. Let me swap thingamybobs. Right. Rick wants to know, is there a specific cryptid the guests would like to encounter?
Michael. Well, funny you should mention that. I just did a piece on the Dog Man.
Ooh.
And everybody was like, oh, the Texas Dog Man. You've never heard of it? I was like, no. And so I go researching and thinking, okay, so this is going to be isolated to Texas. Nope, it's on the East Coast, West Coast, Canada.
Everywhere.
It's all over. It's in Australia.
Oh, yeah.
New Zealand. I'm like, it's becoming more of who hasn't had a dog man.
Yeah.
But all the things I was reading about it, I was like, the one thing I was feeling about it was it doesn't seem to be one of the more aggressive cryptid types. It's more of, if it feels like you're invading its territory, defending its territory, but it won't actively come after you.
Right.
And I could be wrong. I don't know. But that's one that I've heard of, and the Mothman is another one that I would like to experience.
Yes, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, that's Andy's favourite cryptid.
If I met Mothman, we'd be in a bar having a beer, put it that way. Yeah.
Even if you look like that thing off Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Just a scarecrow.
Me too.
Yeah. He's got a van, he can drop me off on the way home.
Oh, that van really creeps me out.
I showed that film to my teenagers last week. They were terrified.
Yeah. I still love that movie. Only the first one, the other two are awful.
Yeah, no, not the first one. I like the first one. But yeah. Yes, very atmospheric.
Yeah. Michaela?
Well, it would have to be Bigfoot. It would have to be Bigfoot. It's really weird because when I was just before I started the podcast, I was really just sort of researching and interested in ghosts and things like that. And so the last sort of 3 years, I've been reading about lots and lots of different sorts of cryptid that I'd never heard of in my life. And I always assumed that Bigfoot was just an urban myth. And the more I've read about it, the more fascinated I am. And of course, I do watch the programs, and Expedition Bigfoot. I just love it. Yeah. Absolutely love it. And I realise it's a TV show and it's heavily edited and all that sort of thing, but it really makes me excited when I watch it. And I just think, I wish I could meet Bigfoot. But of course, then I have to have this sort of caveat onto that, which is, I wish I could meet a nice, kind Bigfoot that wasn't going to hurt me. And I could make friends with it. And so I might feel very differently if I actually saw one, but I'd really, really love to see one.
So I got a question for Michaela on that.
Go on then.
So do you think Bigfoot really exists here, or do you think it's a dimensional creature that just happens to come through a portal, gets seen or heard and then disappears back into another dimension.
Okay. I don't normally like to be pinned down to what I think because my ideas change all the time. But I think today,
currently your current thought process.
Yeah. So today, and then I'll dismiss myself tomorrow. I believe it's both. I believe that it is. I believe it's a real creature that is flesh and blood, but I believe it can travel away from our dimension. I don't think, in my eyes, there doesn't seem to be another explanation for it in a way. If you add on the lights that are seen around it, the fact that people have seen it sort of almost fading in and out, sometimes a bit like the kind of predator kind of idea, and the fact that nobody has been able to find where they live or find, some evidence of them, but not scientific sort of evidence like if you were going out to try and find a gorilla. So there must be something else to it. They must be able to go somewhere. And so maybe there is a possibility that they can pop in and out of this, whatever we are, grid, dimension, world, portal,
or
whatever.
The other possibility that because a lot of like Bigfoot sightings, there have also been UFO sightings at the same time.
Yeah.
So could it be that the UFOs are bringing them from somewhere? That's another possibility.
I don't know. Right. Or are they just connected in some way, maybe?
Possibly.
Could be using them as scouts, putting them down, sending them to have a look round, picking them back up.
Yeah.
Job done.
Yeah. Exactly.
It could be anything.
The more I look into all this stuff, the more I believe that anything's possible.
Yes, it is.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll be the first to say with you that even though I may put out a topic like the dog man, it's not done. There may be another video down the road where I'll be like, okay, due to what now we know, this is going to refute this video, and this is where we are now.
But that's what it is. That's what it's like with investigating, though, isn't it? You sort of think you've got somewhere, and then something else pops up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was investigating a video for Skinwalker Ranch that I just put out.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, at the end of the video, I go, okay, folks, I gotta end this video now because this just is a rabbit hole that just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper.
Oh,
and when one stone's unturned, like several more come up, and it's like, I gotta end this. I'll later on make another video of part 2 where this one leaves off.
Yeah. I know. That's just
it just goes deeper and deeper.
Yeah, it does.
The more questions you've got, you don't get any more answers. You get more questions.
Right, and then you start looking at other people's theories, and you're like, well, does this theory hold water? You're like, well, wait a minute. Well, yeah, and it opens up these questions, and it's like, well, now I can answer. Well, can I answer these? Wait, I'm just going to keep going and going. This will turn into like 8 hours and be like, nothing's come of it. but
I'd say, 99% of people's theories and beliefs are possible.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because we don't know what's right and what's wrong. We don't know what's true or what's not true. Because if we knew that, we wouldn't be sat here now chatting about it.
Yeah, exactly.
We'd have the answers, but we haven't. I've not got a clue.
I haven't either.
The one thing I love about being a paranormal investigator versus like other investigators is we can look at the wacky ideas that people come out with and be like, there is an ounce of truth in that wackiness that could account for And I can explain that from this, and it's like we can tie it to actual science, and it's like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
can this be the answer? Do we just don't want to accept it? And it's like, yeah, there are no wrong theories in the paranormal. It's like almost everything can be tied to something and being like, oh my God, this is starting to sound more and more legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
But as well, we all have a different way of thinking. So we're going to have different thought process.
Right.
So all our own theories and beliefs and that are going to be different anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get some the same, but overall, it doesn't matter what you think or what you believe. It doesn't necessarily say it's wrong compared to what I think or to what Deb or what Michaela thinks.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I will say, in looking in the comments, Terry, I gotta say, no, don't kill a cryptid unless it's physically doing you harm.
Yeah.
Leave them alone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mind you, the Native Americans that is mentioning there, they had a lot of, well, they still do have a lot of respect for cryptids anyway, don't they?
Oh, yeah. I think they have more legends around the cryptids than we do.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Especially Bigfoot.
Well, that I was going to say, sorry, with the Native Americans and Bigfoot, that goes back to the beginning of their history.
Yeah.
Obviously, it goes back further than that, but it's just all the different, because obviously Sasquatch is one of the names that they use for Bigfoot.
There's a whole list of names to use.
Yeah,
I think Yeti, if you're in Siberia.
Yeah. You've got the obviously different. It's different around the world anyway, isn't it? So,
I was just going to say Oompa Loompa, but it's not. It's
no. You're wrong TV show, Deborah.
Those are Wonderland.
Yeah.
I knew what I meant.
I'm glad you did.
Right, question for Michael. If you come to the UK, Michael, where would you investigate and why?
In the UK?
Yeah.
I would have to say the tunnels under Edinburgh would be so much fun.
The vaults.
The vaults, yeah.
And
they creep me out.
I would say kind of something Michaela said tipped me off would be the old like shipyards areas around because working conditions there were not always the best, whether it was ancient times or current times. So it'd be so fun to just get in touch with a spirit and be like, so what was life like? Really? What was your life like? Because we like to think it was this. Was it though?
Yeah. But then it's because it depends what sort of shipyard you go to. So if you go to like a military base, a military-based shipyard, you're going to have that side to it as well.
Yeah.
Like the fighting and not just the building of the shipyard.
Yeah.
So, I forgot where I was going with that. No, it's gone. Sorry.
So, same question to you, Michaela, obviously, in our country. Where would you want to go?
In America?
No, in our country.
In our country?
Yeah.
Ooh, gosh. There are... I'd really like to do... oh, gosh. I've got the most enormously stupid memory in the entire world, meaning I don't have one at all. I'd really like to go to some of these big prisons. I'd like to go to Bodmin Jail.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's meant to be really spooky. There's a place near me called Arundel, and that's got an old abandoned jail as well. I'd like to go there. And there's one... up towards Manchester, there's an old jail that people do a lot of investigations at. I can't remember the name of it now.
Style Mill.
Sorry?
Where?
Is it not Style Mill?
No, it's not that one. Oh, Michael's gone. So any old jails, really, I'd really like to go to. I'd really love to as well, although I'm sure you couldn't get permission, is to go around the Tower of London and do an investigation there. That would be amazing.
Mine will be Hampton Court Palace.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to go. I'd love to go there.
It was amazing. It really was. We only went through the daytime, though. We did a bit of secret covert investigating while we were looking around.
Yeah.
That's what I do. If I'm going out for the day, I'll be there taking photos. And Missy's like, "Are you doing investigating?" I'm like, "Shut up! Don't tell anyone."
Yeah, and you've got your EVP running secretly.
I have,
and you catch yourself whispering, like, "Is there anybody here?" And then somebody will walk past you, like, "La la la, nothing going on here.
Nothing to see. Keep walking."
Yeah, it's like we went to Northampton Museum. I was like, make sure there's no one in while I'm going around with my EMF reader. Like quick 30 seconds and back, and then loads of people come in.
It's got to be done.
Yeah, it'd be rude not to.
Take an opportunity.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Next question then from Nickname. Start with Michaela. What profound experience have you had, and what is the phenomena?
Oh, well, gosh. Profound. Oh my goodness, I feel pressure now.
Sorry.
There was one experience that I had when I was really little. This was the first thing that I can ever remember happening before I had the Grim Reaper experience. And it's when I tell you, it sounds ridiculous.
Right.
But when I was about 3, I flew down the stairs.
Right.
So we'd had this. I lived with my nana and granddad when my mum and dad got divorced when I was really little. And I'd gone to bed, and it was the day that we had our coal fire changed for a modern gas fire. It was a big day in our house. And I'd been very excited when I went to bed because I'd been allowed to go and sit around the gas fire at night. This is the 1970s. And I wasn't allowed to go down the stairs. I wasn't allowed to come out of my bedroom by myself because I was only tiny. And I wanted to go downstairs. And I remember standing at the top of the stairs. And I remember jumping off the top steps. And something held me. And I floated down the stairs. And I was put down very gently at the bottom of the stairs. And then I went and banged on the living room door. My mum opened it in shock and said, "What on earth are you doing? How have you got there?" And I said, "I flew down the stairs." And I don't know. I felt like it was some sort of guardian angel type thing. But I remember the going down the stairs, and particularly the being put down at the bottom really vividly. So I don't know what phenomena you'd call that. Guardian angel, spirit. I don't know really.
Did you see anything when it was happening?
No, not at all.
Nothing.
I just knew that I was safe.
Yeah.
It was really weird. I just knew I was safe and it was okay to sort of jump. It could have ended very badly. But yeah.
That's why I think it was your guardian angel.
Yeah, there must have been something.
Yeah, definitely.
It was so vivid, and I still remember it now. I mean, several years later.
Yeah, but those sort of things do stay with you, don't they? They sort of stick in your memory because they're so unusual.
Yeah. And I've got a quick one as well, which is it reminded me of something Michael said earlier. Was there's a place where I'm from, Halifax, in West Yorkshire. My husband would laugh because I always say Halifax, West Yorkshire, just in case people don't know where it is. And
Andy doesn't know where West Yorkshire is.
Yes, I do. Other side at
Ebargum. The right side.
The wrong side. The wrong side.
That's an argument for another day.
Yes.
And we will win.
I'm outnumbered, so I'll leave it.
There's a big sort of mansion called Shibden Hall, and in fact, a program was made about it on the television not so long ago.
I went there years ago.
Did you? Well, I used to live there in a past life.
Did you?
And I didn't know this until I was about 4 or 5, and my auntie and uncle were going to take me there, and I had this vivid dream the night before, and I was a maid, I was a servant in the kitchen, and I'd never been to the place before. I was just very excited that I was going to this big famous Shibden Hall. And when I got there, I remember I ran ahead in front of them, and they were shouting me to come back. And I ran into the hall, and there was a curator there. And I just ran straight in and went, "Where's the kitchen? Where's the kitchen?" And I remember the woman saying, "Oh, you can't visit the kitchen." And I said, "Here it is. It's in here. But where's the door?" And there was no door. And she said, "How do you know that?" And I said, "Well, this is where I used to work." This tiny little child. I used to work in there, and the kitchen door used to be there, and I used to work in the kitchen, and it's just behind there. And she said, "Well, how did you know that did used to be the kitchen? But we don't let visitors see it because it's not safe. So we had it all panelled over, and you can't actually go through from the main house anymore." And and I knew it when I went in as vividly as anything, for sure. That was where I'd worked, and I was, pointing to the door that wasn't there anymore. So that was really unexplainable.
There's a real atmosphere to that building, that house, especially out where the old coaches are in the outbuildings. There's some atmosphere to there as well. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I picked up on an atmosphere.
Yeah,
I'd love to investigate there.
Oh yeah, on a night. Mind you, it's really tiny inside. I was surprised because when they show you it on the telly, when it's Gentleman Jack, it looks massive. But when you get inside, it's really tiny. And the stairs, I mean, she runs off up the stairs, and you have to kind of squeeze in to get up the stairs. It
must have been a set.
Yeah, it must have been. But it's a beautiful house.
Right. Time for one more before a break.
Yes.
So do this one from Umbraman.
Yep.
Go to Michael first. What are your most recent favourite investigation you have encountered?
I'm presuming it means if somebody sent any reports into you, or
I haven't gotten any reports from other people, but actually I take that back. I recently was talking with a friend about going to Granbury, Texas, because there's some locations there that I haven't been to that are supposed to be haunted. And there's apparently a mansion around here, or they call it Bowers Mansion, that there's a big mystery there of a gentleman reportedly, and I'll say reportedly because we don't know, killed his wife and then killed himself, or something killed her and killed him. But those are the type of investigations I'm like, ooh, I want to go on that. I want to go there and see if I can figure out some of this mystery. And another one that I kind of stumbled on was the wife of Davy Crockett is buried nearby here. And he's the famous person from the Alamo for Texas independence that there's rumors he survived the Alamo and was either put in jail or was held somewhere else, or maybe all kinds of rumors, and so it's like
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, who better to know what really happened than the wife of? And
Yeah.
so, or even the second wife of. So I'm like, I'd love to go over to where she's at and be like, okay, I want to pick your brain about what happened to your husband and see if she would tell us.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be really interesting. What about you, Michaela?
Mine would have to be favourite information that I've researched in the last few months, and I did a 3-part series on my podcast about Stardust Ranch.
Yeah.
So
that and
yeah,
Mothman.
yeah. There's 3 ranches all in a line down sort of the west of America, Utah, kind of upwards, and there's obviously Skinwalker Ranch, Stardust Ranch, and then one called Bradshaw Ranch as well.
Yeah, I've heard about that one as well.
Yeah, and they've all had every type of paranormal experience. They think that there may be some sort of portals there. They've had UFO experiences, skinwalker experiences, werewolves, giant, like dire wolves, just you name it, that it's been there. And I read John Edmonds' book on Stardust Ranch. God bless, he passed away recently. But his story was just incredible. And I read it and I thought, even if only 50% of this is true, it's the most incredible story I've ever read in my entire life.
Yeah.
So, and I can't remember the name of the book now, but it's such an amazing story about him allegedly having to fight off grey aliens with his old samurai swords that he kept on the wall of his bedroom.
The one that fell off the back of the truck when he was out for a drive.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? It was almost like it was synchronicity, you know.
And there's there's a truck with a load of old metal and bits and bobs on the back, and this samurai sword fell off. So he pulled up, grabbed it, put it in the car, and ended up decapitating a grey with it.
Yeah, and he went after the van to try and give it back to the person.
Yeah, and it just.
But it was like it was meant to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I've heard that story. I've heard the story twice, and I think I've memorised 90% of it. That's how much it got me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fascinating stuff.
It really is a story like no other.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, I'd love to go there.
I would. I'd love to go to all 3, but it's meant to be very, very difficult. And apparently, you literally can't go to Bradshaw Ranch. I know it's very difficult to be able to go to the other 2. A lot of the, I think that.
Didn't they close off Bradshaw Ranch?
Yes, I think the military. I think military's bought it, haven't they? The military have bought Bradshaw Ranch.
So they closed all the roads going to it, and because I know John Edmonds, didn't he have some dealings with the people over at Bradshaw about?
I don't know actually.
I might be getting this wrong, but about the same goings on at Stardust and Bradshaw. I'm sure there was some sort of meeting between them, and I don't know if he ever went there, but from what I can remember, he met up with them, and it was very similar to what was going on there and at Skinwalker.
Right.
Yeah.
I know Skinwalker's closed because they're doing so many experiments there. They said that we don't want public coming in and interfering with the experiments they're doing.
Yeah, they're doing a lot.
Yeah, I don't think you're ever going to get to any of them now.
No, probably not.
Well, but Skinwalker, you might, because the owner is all about wanting to find out paranormally what is happening, but you'd have to schedule it around when they're not doing research, which they're pretty much doing 365/7. hour or 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Well, well, wasn't when Andrew Collins came on, he was saying he went over to Skinwalker.
Yes, he did.
And he was trying to do stuff and this, that, and the other, but it was a time, like you just said, with the timing of going in and doing it, and because there's loads of people bobbing about and what have you.
Yeah.
I suppose a lot of these experiments are set up so that they're continually running, aren't they? They'll have equipment running, and
they are. And I've been watching the History Channel show, and they really have put up cameras on all the edges that are 360, and literally you step foot on the grounds and you will be met with security right away. They have constant monitoring. You can't sneak on anymore.
Yeah, that's it. Right, we'll have a quick 4-minute break. We'll have a 4-minute break.
Yeah, it's quick. Might be slow today. You never know.
You don't know.
Let's see. Right, so quick toilet break for everyone. Quick cup of tea, and we'll be back.
We will.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Well, that was the 4 minutes ever.
No, that went slow.
Did it? No.
Yeah, I was nice and chilled with that one then.
I love that music. Just love it.
Found it on the off chance.
Yeah, I love it. Right. Back to the questions.
Yeah.
So, let me bring me a little bit. What is it up? Right. This one from Umbraman. What do your guests think happens to us after death? We'll start with Michael.
Wow, that's a loaded question. My personal belief after death is we meet our family that's passed on before us, and we kind of go through what I call a life review, and you share what you've learned and experienced, and then you're given the choice to reincarnate back somewhere if you choose to learn more, or you can move on to another place or hang out amongst the stars.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a finality. I think we just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in energy, aren't we?
Yeah.
Michaela.
Rather boringly, mine's about the same, really. I do think that when we die, we go somewhere else. I think that yes, we can go to the white light. That is what we might call heaven, let's say. I also believe there's a kind of limbo type place for people who aren't quite ready to go over there.
Yeah.
There might be things that people have to do, and so they might go different places. But I think there's movement between the, what should we call them, realms. I think there's movement. I don't think you go to one place and then stay there. I think there's probably levels. Maybe reincarnation in order to achieve a higher frequency, and maybe when you achieve that higher frequency you can go on to whatever it is. I definitely believe that there are other things after this life. Although it doesn't make me want to rush into it, I have to say. It's like I'd rather live here as long as I can and then find out what's happening.
Just leading on from that, Joe's asked, do you think animals and pets go to the same place as we do when they pass? I do. Or their essence.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of teachings, aren't there, that say that certain animals are not supposed to have souls or not supposed to move on. But I think there's quite a lot of evidence to show that that's wrong, actually.
Yeah.
And that animals definitely, I think animals that are loved by humans, maybe that's a contributing factor, that if a particular animal is cared about by someone, does that give them an extra dimension? I don't think there are kind of millions of, herds of nameless cows wandering around in the afterlife, but maybe, do you know what I mean? And flies and midges and goodness knows. I don't know, but what is the criteria? This is the thing for all this stuff. You sort of, all the paranormal stuff, you just think, well, what is the criteria for this? Whoever's organising all of this, if someone is, what's the criteria for where you go after you die, and if your pet comes back, if it has a soul, that's what drives me insane. It's like, I think, because I'm a teacher as well, what's the success criteria for going to the next level? Do you know what I mean? And if I have a list, can I kind of follow that, please, so that I can go to where I want to go?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So carrying on from that again, sorry. Umbra's put, what about cryptids and other phenomena beings? Would they go there as well? I'm guessing that's what he means.
Yeah.
But I've asked this before.
I would have to say
Maybe they're from
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they go
Maybe
the
they're-
opposite way to us.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe
Or
they
maybe they're
move
the
on to
ones to
another
help
level.
us.
Go on, Michael. Sorry.
Yes.
I was
Sorry.
to say maybe when we think they're kidnapping or attacking someone, they're actually helping them transition.
Well, that's a point. See, another part of the rabbit hole's just opened up there.
No,
Yeah.
they just dug another giant hole, and we're all going to fall through it.
Excellent. Right. Next question is from nickname. Where is the hotspot for paranormal in your opinion in the UK and the US, and why? So Michaela first.
I usually need a good 10 minutes thinking time to think about this. Can I pass over to Michael if he's... Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot here. If you have a quicker answer than me, I'm going to have a ponder.
Well, I would say, in my opinion, hotspots for the paranormal would be where you have the ley lines crossing, because that'll definitely boost the energy there for them to be existing, or places where traumatic events happen, like battles or lynchings, or criminal justice taken out, like prisoners being mistreated. So just stuff like that, where there was extreme traumas, or the ley lines crossing, or all the above in the same spot, would create the hot spots.
Yeah.
And it's probably the same in the UK.
Yeah, I think it. I definitely agree. Places like Glastonbury and Stonehenge, places where there've been a lot of spiritual thought and worship in the past. Definitely places like that in the UK. And in the US, like you said, like Gettysburg is meant to be the most phenomenal hotspots. I mean, some of the footage that people have got of seeing almost, 3D soldiers running around. It's quite incredible.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do we move to the next one?
Yep.
So this one is from Warren Hardcastle. Who in the paranormal / cryptid research world has influenced or inspired you both? Michael first.
Oh boy.
So we put him on the spot now.
Oh yeah.
Right, go on then. I've got an answer for this one. Now, so it's okay. My first one might be quite controversial. So in the UK, I am a big fan of Yvette Fielding. Now, say what you will about Most Haunted, it was the first paranormal program that I ever watched. And I can remember it was about 2004. I was living in London with my then boyfriend, now husband. And when I saw this program advertised, I could not believe that someone else was interested in what I was in, and that they were interested in it so much so that they were making a TV program about it. I was beyond excited. And I watched every single show. I was on this really rickety old PC watching the live events and texting in, I've just seen this on the live stream, all that sort of thing. And she's kind of remained a sort of paranormal heroine to me ever since. I just think that she actually, blazed a trail for people in the UK. No matter what unfortunate events might have happened on the show and people and all that sort of thing. I think she's amazing, and she's done thousands of investigations, and you can't knock that. I have been on some of the most haunted investigations. You can pay for the events and things, and they're really fun. And they've been fantastic. And the other person in the US who has really inspired me is Cliff Barrackman.
Yes.
From the Bigfoot program, and I just think that he is so well informed, and everything he says just seems to have gravitas and science and a reason behind it. And I find him incredibly engaging. I'm fingers crossed going to interview him for Paranormality magazine in the next few months, and I'm terrified because he seems so clever, and I don't think I'm clever enough to interview him. But we'll see, because I think he's just going to tie me up in knots.
So down to earth, though,
those are my two. It is, yeah, and he seems like a very nice man. But I know that if you say something that he considers not worthy or not very sensible, then he gives you quite short shrift. And I'm a bit scared of that.
Fair enough. Good luck.
Michael.
Do I have to answer this?
Yeah.
So, paranormal wise, I would say the ones who have influenced me would be the show Destination Fear, with how they approach things and willing to do the insane, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I would say Josh Gates and my friend Captain Rob have really kind of shown me that, you don't have to be some like really out there person that just anybody can do this. And it's just, how you approach it and how you view it. And so I've learned a lot from them. Cryptid research wise, that one's harder for me because I tend to stumble on cryptids by researching other paranormal locations. I don't actually follow cryptids, but when I come across them, I'll research them and, see what I can learn about them.
Yeah.
But it's not something that I actively put in the forefront as much as other aspects of the paranormal.
Yeah.
But it's getting there. Yeah, I'm slowly coming around.
Yeah. That's how it happens.
Building it up.
Right. Question from Joe Weeks. If you could talk to anyone from the spirit world, who would it be and why?
That's a hard one.
Got my hand up. It would have to be Elvis Presley.
Right.
It would have to be. I am a secret kind of Elvis fan. My mum's a massive Elvis fan, so I was brought up with Elvis played in the house the whole time. And hard though it seems to believe now, I was dragged unwillingly to Gracelands twice when I was younger, and actually I caught the bug while I was on the trips, because if you're surrounded by fans of something, either you're going to hate them with a passion or you're going to kind of get caught up in it all. And actually, I had a brilliant time and I met some really nice people and it was great. But I'd really, really like to interview Elvis to find out what it was really like. And I get very cross with people when they're so flippant and like, oh yeah, that was that guy that died on the toilet. It's like, he was so much more than that. How dare you? Sort of, he was such an interesting person, and he must have had such a crazy life to go from being, a very, very modest, simple young man to this crazy icon. So yeah, it would definitely be Elvis.
Well, who would be your other one? Because there are some reports that he's still around, so therefore not in the spirit world.
Then it would be Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be mine.
Yeah.
What about you,
love her.
Michael?
So for me, it's kind of, I would have to answer that in twofold, because the historical side of me, I would be like wanting to talk to people like George Washington or, King Arthur, several, historical figures, to be like, what was life like? What is your real story? what happened?
Yeah.
Why did you do this? And the other side of me, boy, I would have to say people like maybe Edgar Casey, or trying to think of his name.
Oh.
He was really big in the paranormal.
Arthur C. Clarke?
No. It's in America.
Oh, right.
The Warrens.
Ah, yeah.
Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Ed and Lorraine Warrens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'd be fascinating.
Those would be my picks.
Yeah.
What about you, Andy?
Well, I was thinking, I've only come up with one.
All right.
Don't laugh. Rasputin.
Yeah.
Oh.
That'd be a good one.
Only because I learned about that in history, and it really fascinated me. Like the way because of what he was doing and how they tried killing him, yet they never found his body.
Yeah.
He was poisoned, shot, thrown in a frozen lake.
Yep.
Amongst other stuff, and he was never found.
Yeah.
And he's one of those, like, depending on who you talk to, some are like, oh, he was the most evil man, and others are like, there was not an evil bone in him. He was doing this or that, and it's like, how can we have such opposites of somebody? So it's like, who are you really?
Yeah.
Well, that'd be it, like you said, because there was the alcoholic womanizing, well, that side to him, and then he was supposed to be dead generous and helping everyone, like homeless people on the street and all that kind of stuff. So, which way did it really go?
Yeah, exactly.
What is the true story behind it?
Yeah.
But it's just.
What about you, Deb? Oh, sorry.
I think Admiral Byrd. I'd want to know exactly what he saw at the Antarctic.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Can I change my answer?
No, I chose that one. But yeah, I'd love to interview him. Yeah, definitely.
Well, you could always pick the other one that went there, Andy.
Oh, yeah. I've forgotten who that is now.
Blue Shift just put Alistair Crowley.
Oh, yeah.
No, he'd be a good one.
Yeah,
I know well, I don't think he went to the Antarctic.
No, he didn't go to the Antarctic, but
I only know Admiral Byrd.
No, there is another one.
No, there's another one. He went there and they were like, he had to abandon his crew there. They were unprepared for the weather because they left late.
Oh, the storms and all that, so they had to turn back.
Right.
Yeah, there's a film about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the ship got frozen in the ice, didn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
It's not Scott, is it? Admin.
Yeah,
it starts with an S.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Scott of the Antarctic.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of gives it away, doesn't it? It's in the title.
Who knew?
Between the four of us.
See, if you both talk to each of them, you could compare stories and see who had the real story of Antarctica.
Oh, yeah.
You could. I tell you, on this kind of snowy theme, the people that I would love to interview are the people who died at the Dyatlov Pass.
Yes, I knew you was going to say
that. My goodness. What on earth happened there? I mean, in my tiny little simple mind, it can only be some sort of creature that ripped them apart.
Yeah. Mine too.
But, you know.
Yeah, but there was no evidence.
I'm on the side of that, or some military experiment. So,
maybe.
Because there's a lot of lights and like a load of like mechanical humming noises.
Yeah.
That was reported from the local villages.
Yeah.
Like a couple of days before and a couple of days after.
There's been a lot of strange stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of odd goings on. But
Sorry,
then
somebody's cutting the grass at 9:30 at night or something. That's very annoying.
yes.
The thing that really got me was the fact that they actually cut kind of spy holes in their tents to peek out at whatever it was. Now that is just freaky. It just makes you go, what? What were they looking at? What were they looking at?
Because it was at the back of the tent. It was opposite the door, wasn't it? So it was opposite the entrance.
Yeah. That's how they got out of the tent. So what was at the entrance of the tent that meant
what was stopping them getting out?
Yep.
Where the zip and that is.
But what creatures do we know eat the bones and everything? Because there's been no trace of them whatsoever.
No, there were bodies found, but they were really badly.
Yeah, they were scattered around.
Don't say the M word.
No. So there was a couple that had been injured. One had like scrapes on his knees and hands from when he
I think I'm thinking of a different one.
All right, where he was trying to shimmy up a tree. There was two. Yeah. There's either 2 or 3 found down near a ravine. Yeah. One of them had their eyes and tongue missing.
Yeah, as if something had I imagine her screaming and the creature not being able to cope with the noise of the screaming, and so bit her tongue out. It's just like, oh, that's like some sort of monster thing. Oh,
yeah, I would think that would make you scream more.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah. Until you choked on your own blood, which is probably what happened to her, poor thing. Sorry, it's getting a bit gruesome now, but poor woman, really. God.
Silent scream to you can't breathe anymore.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, I was thinking of the other past, the one in Russia where there was.
Oh, yes.
The people just disappeared and there was no traces of the bodies or anything.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Were they the ones where they found the campsite with the food in the stoves and?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was weird because the stoves had the fires had only been put out in the last couple of hours, but all the food in that was months old.
Yeah.
Not only that, but there was there's no footprints, there's no blood anywhere, there's no signs of anything. It's they just vanished.
Weren't there about 30 or 40 of them?
Was it that many?
I think there was 30 of them.
What was it called?
It was more than 10.
I don't know, but it was
I think it was
old, young. There were kids. There was parents, grandparents, and everyone just one day
I think
wasn't there.
Devletov or something like that.
No, that's Dyatlov Pass is the one that we were on about, where the bodies were found injured and.
They were a team of experienced hikers and skiers and all that. Oh, I can't remember this one. I'm sure is this one over in. I think this was in Alaska or over that area.
Oh really?
Oh, the
I can't remember. I'll know it when you say it.
Somebody.
It was
Tov. Jenna, was it Jenna Party? Donna Party.
Oh, the Donners? That one, they ate each other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
they
did.
Oh, no, this was they'd gone into this camp where these indigenous people had been living, and everyone was, missing.
Right, Terry's saying Portlock. Portlock, Alaska. Oh, no. He'd love to know what really happened in Portlock, Alaska.
Right. Well, this might be this one. So they'd gone in, and the fires were, not smouldering, but the ash on the wood and that was still quite fresh.
Yeah.
But the food that were in the pans had gone all mouldy and rotten, and even, the fruit and that inside the tents was, all mush. And so they reckon, was it something radioactive that had caused it to decay so quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, Portlock, Alaska.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sure
So, like,
that's
they'd
it.
been beamed up or something by
Yeah,
UFOs
and there was just
or
no
whatever.
trace. There was none, because obviously they've had goats and chickens and ducks and whatever else for for milk and cheese and everything had gone. Everything, but all the clothes were there. So like the skin hides, what they'd used to make jackets and trousers and all that. There's a load of that still in the the living areas.
Yeah.
But there was not, like you said, no footprints. There's no trail leading in or out. Even same as the Dyatlov Pass. Even if it had snowed heavy, there would still be some sort of trail that they'd be able to trace.
Yeah.
Because of the time difference. So,
Ooh, I just thought of a good one from the spirit world.
go on.
The Anasazi tribe.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
ancient aliens.
Yeah.
Do tell.
It's a tribe that lived in the side of mountains. It's like they actually took and carved out cliff sides.
Oh right, okay.
And they show signs of civilization, and then they just up and completely vanished. There is there were some that rumored the Pueblos and were the Anasazi, and the Pueblos are like, no, we are not Anasazi related.
Right.
There's been no bones, no bodies, no mass graves, nothing. It's like they just were there and gone.
Right. Yeah, this was a similar thing. But I've just remembered something else. One of the theories was there's like some virus, so they were sending people out to stop everyone else from getting it. But then if they was being moved on to another location, there was still no trace of anybody. And there's no trace of any of the parties that have left the camp. So
very strange.
Yeah. So they don't know, because that's what they thought with the all the food going off and what have you. It could have been a virus that had gone into it, and that was what was making it decay.
Yeah.
So that's why they was trying to get anyone that was infected to get them to leave, so they didn't infect anyone else. But obviously they would have found bodies somewhere along the line, but nobody was ever found from that.
No.
But Chris from Scottish Paranormal, he said he's sure it was in Canada, and the huskies were tied up to trees. Now that sounds familiar about the huskies bit.
Yeah, I remember that. One was starving. Some of them had died, and wasn't very nice.
Don't know. I heard it on a podcast, but I don't know which one it was. I'd have to try and find it, or find something on the internet about it.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yes. But that must have happened in loads of places that has never been reported.
Yeah, maybe.
Imagine the amount of places around the world that don't have any interaction with anyone else.
Yeah.
The stuff that goes on and the stuff they've seen.
And
we're never going to find out.
I know. We need to go searching these places out.
I know. Right, let's
book
tickets to the Amazon.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, you buying?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get a couple of donations to cover the cost.
Oh yeah, buy me a coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a strange one from Joe here.
Well, sorry, Joe.
I think the guest should ask Andy and Deb's a question.
No, that Andy bit's wrong. It's just Deb's.
No, it was Andy and Deb's.
Actually, it's Andy A. Debs.
Yeah, it is actually, yeah.
Andy A. Debs. There's a lot of A's in that.
There is actually, yeah.
Too many. My eyes have gone funny.
Right, okay. I'll ask a question. What has been the most outlandish and quite weird story that you have ever been told by one of your sort of friends or podcast people, what's the strangest story that you've been told, if you can think about it?
That's a tricky one.
First one to think of it, speak first.
Does it have to be like paranormal, or can it be anything?
Oh God!
Oh, go on! I'm intrigued now.
Well, there's some lad I know. Well, I didn't actually know him. He was about, I was probably about 17, 18. And I won't say his name in case he is actually still alive. But you'll understand when I tell you what he said. So some of my mates, they'd gone knocking on for him. And his dad was saying, like, he's not coming out. Anyway, he come out a couple of days later. And he goes, how come you weren't coming out the other night? He went, oh, my head fell off. And I guess better, but it's all right. My dad stuck it back on with sellotape. And he was 100% genuine with this. He weren't laughing. He was like solid poker face, and he was straight down the line. He couldn't come out because his head fell off. But his dad stuck it on with sellotape, and now he's all right. He kept that for years. So there you go.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know how Deb's going to follow that story up.
Yeah, come on, Debs. The weirdest story.
I can't think of anything anybody's really told me that's that weird. I've had some weird things, but I have weird things nearly every day, actually.
Go on, what's your weirdest experience then?
Well, I'll tell you about what happened the day before yesterday.
I
got a sandwich, and I was sat here, and I looked down, picked my sandwich up, and as I looked up, a foot in front of the telly was a big rectangle of light, like LED light, but a solid block of light, stood on its end. And as I glanced up, it was there, and then it just disappeared. So tell me what that was all about. It was a perfect rectangular box of light.
What was in the sandwich you were eating?
Well, it was weed, but
wasn't reflecting off your sandwich wrapper, was it?
No.
He said it was white, a white light,
bright white light, the rectangle of light.
So was it? I know you told me the other day, but was it blindingly bright?
Well, no, didn't make me drop my sandwich.
Were you blinded by the light?
Yeah.
Did you go towards it?
No, because I was sat in my chair. I was sat in the chair, obviously, with the table in front of me, and I just kind of glanced up. It was there, and then went. But it was like LED bright, not blindingly bright, but LED bright. It wasn't like a dull colour, and it was 3D. It wasn't like a flat shape. It was 3D.
Yeah.
It could be just a spirit that was just coming in to say hello and
it could.
left.
Bit of a strange shape, though. You'd have thought they'd have mind you, I suppose that wouldn't frighten me as much as looking up and seeing somebody stood there, really.
The spirit of a mathematician.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're assuming spirits take the forms that we're used to seeing. We don't know what they actually look like. They could have been really looking like a 3D box. And to us, it's like, that's a box. And to them, it's like, this is a whole universe. What are you talking about?
Yeah. That's quite true.
Yeah. Can I give you this one then? This was yesterday morning at work. So I got to work, and where I work, it's just like an industrial area. It's a little unit. And where we park at the front, you can only get like 6 or 7 vehicles there. So as I'm walking around my van, there's a pigeon flying down towards me. Well, it's like 20 foot up in the air, and it's about 30 foot away. But it's like flying in my direction. As I look up at it, it just, underneath it, on its underbelly, was a big flash of light. It then turned round and flew off. But it was a lot darker than the other pigeons. And, that was it. That's as weird as it gets.
Yeah.
There's no
a
noise.
Robot pigeon.
There's no cooing. But I just thought, why has it took a photo of me?
Maybe it was a drone.
Well, that's what. But there was no noise coming from it. Didn't hear any flapping. It was like just a normal household pigeon, is what it was.
Yeah.
But it seemed a little bit bigger and darker. You know, like you get the like bluey grey colour of like say a wood pigeon or
Right.
are they called street pigeons?
Yeah.
What would you call it? Yeah, street
Yeah,
pigeon.
just ordinary pigeons, yeah.
Yeah, but it's more of like a charcoaly colour, like a gunmetal grey.
Yeah.
And it was about I'd say 6:15 in the morning.
A spy pigeon.
Oh, it just imagine that. It's not, but it's there, so it's flying towards it, and then it just underneath there's a big flash, like a camera flash. Then it just turned around and flew off, back the way it came.
Maybe it was a spy pigeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, why is it taking a picture?
Because he wants to know what you were
Well,
up to.
I don't know. What have you been up to, Andy?
Oh. It was just so weird. But I was looking because it was about 3/4 of the way up from where the lamppost was behind it. So it wasn't the light going on or off.
It happened when you were on the phone to me, didn't it?
No, I was at work. I'd literally parked the van up.
You told me about it on the phone, yeah.
I'd gone inside,
That's
checked
right.
the stuff that I was putting in the van. You come back out because we do temperature controlled medication. We come back out, make sure the fridges are in temp. So you start the van up and then you print the ticket off, you get it signed, and then you load up and you go out and do your route. So I'd gone back to the van to print the ticket off, and that's when I seen it.
How bizarre.
Very.
Spy birdie, pigeons in disguise.
Catch a pigeon. Yeah, so I don't know. It was definitely a big, bright, yellowy white flash.
I think work's sending drones out to keep their eye on you.
There's no point. The thing is, even say it was work, there's cameras all around work, there's trackers on the van, and they know
Well,
where
yeah.
anyway. So
you don't need a pigeon.
no, it's just really weird.
Very
But
strange.
I can't remember if I've seen any other birds about at the same time. But I wasn't really thinking about a drone pigeon hunting me down, to be honest.
Spying on you.
Yeah. It was just,
why not?
a bit like shock, surprise sort of thing.
Yeah. Weird.
It didn't make any sense.
Not at all.
That is very strange indeed.
Yeah. Because like you said, if it was a drone, you'd have heard like the whirring noise of the motor or
Yeah.
Well, there are
something.
quiet drones.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Don't know.
And if it was a pigeon, it'd be hidden by all them feathers as well, so that'd dull the noise down a bit. Sorry.
Deborah.
Apparently, someone doesn't like us even talking about the concept of a drone pigeon.
Well, it was just a really weird thing. I'd forgot about that till Joe put it on.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of have you watched those nature programs where they have like spy penguin and spy this and they're so rubbish and they don't look anything like the creature. And then the penguin or whatever goes up to it and goes, "You're not one of us. What are you?"
The walrus
just look so ridiculous.
The walrus one, it bites it and pops it, and you just see it deflating.
Yeah.
Penguin cam or whatever it is.
Yeah. So, yeah, didn't think anything of it. I just thought a bit weird and carried on.
Very strange.
I don't know. If anyone's got any sensible answers for that, please do share them.
I can't see that there being any sensible answers.
No,
for that.
I'm just looking at who's in the chat.
I think someone said military drone. That was fairly sensible. But
but then why would they be interested in Andy? Mind you, he did nick a police cap out of the middle of the road.
No, I didn't. I did not.
Yes, you did.
Didn't steal anything.
No, you didn't steal
I don't even know what you're talking about.
All right.
Normal hat.
Yes. Swiftly
All right.
moving on.
Right, Joe's saying now it's Michael's turn to ask.
Yeah. All right. So I was thinking long and hard about this, but so Andy and Deb, what is your biggest destination that you want to go to outside of the UK and why? Doesn't have to be paranormal, but where is somewhere that you'd be like, oh man, that's where I gotta go?
I've got a couple actually.
Yeah.
I would say I've got two. I would say the Amazon. I'd love to go to, like, on a decent boat though, not like one of these little rowboats.
Not on a little blue.
You don't want the canoe?
No, I don't want the canoe. No, I'd want to go on a decent boat that nothing could jump out the water into.
On a 40-foot yacht.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, could lay on the deck with the champagne and everything. I would say that would be one, and the other would be New Zealand.
Yeah.
So they're
Alright.
mine. Right, it's got sort of a similar climate to us, but the scenery is absolutely beautiful. So yeah,
Right.
that's me.
So both of mine are paranormal.
So go
Well,
with it.
I've got three now. So TNT area at West Virginia, Mothman,
Yeah.
Stardust Ranch, obviously,
Yeah.
and on the other side of the ice wall.
Yes.
There.
Well, shut everybody
All
up.
right.
The ice wall. Are you talking about Game of Thrones here? Oh.
No, the entrance to the the entrance to Inner Earth, are where the other continents are that Admiral Byrd discovered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually flew into another world.
Didn't it, when all these instruments were going all over the place, but from his training and knowledge in that of flying, he knew how to keep it steady, so he just kept going.
And then he got escorted in by, I think it was two craft.
Yes.
Not planes, craft. He was escorted into this other world. Very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, so that'd be mine. Oh, can I add another one? A bit of controversy now. To go out of the Earth's atmosphere to take a photo of Earth to see if it's round or flat. Good night.
Right.
Before anyone starts kicking off.
Oh dear.
I'd like to go to Mars. Mars.
How did we ever come up with the flat Earth theory? Because nobody has ever fallen off the edge. So where is this edge?
Well, that's the thing. They've got the ice wall all the way around, so you can't.
Yeah.
There you go.
You see, my opinion on that changes constantly.
I don't know.
I've got
My opinion doesn't change whatsoever, I'm afraid.
Actually, Andy, you want a controversial topic? I can throw one at you.
Go on.
Are we in a holographic universe?
No.
Are we living in a construct, or are we actually really living on a planet?
Well,
that's
so are we on the inside of a universe and then there's nothing out there, or are we on the outside of it where everything's out there?
That's the big question.
Are we in the Matrix?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I'll tell you something very strange that happened to me a few weeks ago. And I don't know whether this was my brain or the world. Probably my brain. But I was driving home from work one day, and I was just looking at the sky just before I turned into my drive, and it was one of those really lovely blue skies with white clouds that I call a Simpsons sky.
Oh, yeah.
So I was just looking at it, like, briefly before I turned into my drive, and it glitched.
Oh.
It all went. It went like a computer screen when it freezes.
Yeah.
Like
And it happened for 1 second. No, it wasn't pixelated. It kind of
Just froze.
right.
And lines came across, and then it went back to what it was. I think it must have been my brain, but it did make me go, "Whoa, what was that?"
That's weird.
Yeah.
But then the next question is your brain in the Matrix.
No, I don't know. Or was I just heading for a migraine? I have no idea.
Absolutely anything.
But do we even know if we were in a matrix?
Yeah, how would you know? And
Unless
is this what the Mandela effect's all about?
Yeah.
See?
No, I think that's just bad memories.
No, I don't know. I remember stuff that doesn't
But
exist.
Can I just? Someone put something on TikTok about all these different like logos and like Kit Kat and Ford and Coca-Cola. All they're doing is upgrading the logo. So when it used to have like a little dash on it, and now it's not, they've changed it over time. They're not going to have the same one from the 1960s in 2020, are they?
Right.
So they just adjust it as they go. So a lot of the logos are just, I think, just updated.
So explain why I have seen the poster of Kurt Cobain out of Nirvana in a pink, fluffy, furry jacket when he never ever appeared in a pink, furry jacket.
How much were you drinking that night?
It could have been a few gin and tonics.
Sure, it wasn't a mirror.
No, I've seen that poster and it doesn't exist, apparently.
Have you got the poster?
I haven't got the poster, no, but I've seen the poster.
Ah.
Because when somebody
he wore a white fluffy jacket, definitely.
Right. No, well, this was supposed to be a pink jacket. They even described it, and I thought, I remember that, but apparently it's never existed.
See, what's interesting is I did one of my first topic videos was on the Mandela effect, and I was talking to a friend of mine who researches stuff like this, and he goes, we're living in a universe right now where we've had multiple timelines that are now merging into one.
Right.
And that's going to be the future timeline. And so all these Mandela effects are different timelines, had different events that are merging. And so you're getting glimpses into other timelines. And that would explain, like, I have a friend actually from the UK who we were talking about this, and we were using the Looney Tunes as an example.
Yeah.
And I said, it's Looney, Tunes. He goes, no, it's Toons. It's always been. And I looked it up on the internet. There is no Toons. It's always been Tunes.
I remember tunes as in cartoons.
Yeah.
Not tunes as in music.
Yeah, but you look it up online, you'll never find anything that says Toons.
What's that?
You can't actually say that. Joe sent me a photograph of Kurt Cobain in a pink fluffy jumper.
Oh, there you go.
I was told that didn't exist. And I couldn't find it when I actually looked for it. I couldn't find it.
Joe's got it. That's why. Joe's wearing it around her house.
She's got it.
Warm. Right, anyway, can I just... The ultimate question of the week. Are you ready?
The next day.
I have no idea.
You can't hide.
I'm not hiding.
Yeah.
It's Lon Strickler on Friday.
Who's on next Friday?
It's this Friday coming.
Yeah.
It's Lon Strickler.
Saturday?
He's looking at a calendar.
That's it. No, it's the cat. I'm stroking the cat. On Saturday, it's a live investigation.
It's
the
called
witching
the Witching Hours.
The
And
witching
next
hour.
Friday,
There's nobody on next Friday.
just check him.
In my line, in my world.
Yeah. And the Friday after,
Get down now, Bob. It's okay. Oh, I've put it away now. I don't know.
have you wrote it on Bob's head? Bob the calendar cat.
I can't get away with anything. I'm gonna
There's a dead giveaway when she's over like
Oh,
leading
Deborah.
and flipping. Going,
You
it's
let
a
me
cat.
Yeah.
Bob's
No.
new name is Calendar Cat.
Calendar Kitty.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know.
Jessica Jones.
That's the woman.
Yes. So
It is.
that's it. So,
Yes.
Wait, Jessica Jones from Marvel?
No, not that Jessica Jones.
possibly. We never know.
You're right.
Sorry, I'm just reading a couple of the comments. Anyone else got any questions? We have got like 3-4 minutes left. Any of you two guys got any questions for us or each other?
But Stuart actually hit the nail on the head. They're called tunes, Tunes, because they were originally Merry Melodies.
Ah, yes.
Ah.
That's where the tunes comes in.
Yes. That's true. Yeah, it's just it just seems a bit odd that people are kind of like remembering all this stuff and other people are saying, no, that wasn't right. It's like the Berenstain Bears.
Yeah.
I've got the books upstairs and I would have sworn that was Stain, and it isn't, it's Stein.
I've never heard of him before.
Yeah. They frightened me to death when I was a kid. One of the ones that I've got is quite creepy.
Yeah. My all-time favorite, though, Mandela Effect was Star Trek's Beam Me Up, Scotty, and the line is actually Scotty, beam me up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. That's weird, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And what I'm not your father, Luke, or whatever from
Luke,
Star
I'm
Wars.
your father. And he's not, it's no, I am your father.
I'm your father, yeah.
I actually saw a meme that said, I'm now going to name my kid No, so I can say, no, I am your father.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I was like, God, could you imagine going through school? No, are you here? Be like, who are you asking?
Just confuse everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the best Mandela effect, I don't know if you guys are the same, is the actual Nelson Mandela when he died. Now, I remember it being in the 80s.
So do I.
I don't.
I remember crying and listening to her speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was probably 13, 14, maybe. And then he died in 2013.
That's
and it was
when
on
I
the
remember
TV.
him dying.
And I was watching it on the TV. I'm like, he's already dead. He died years ago.
That's what I said. I was like, wait, he died again?
I was like, what is going on? And I was like, he died in prison in mid-80s.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
That's what I remembered.
And it just, I think that just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, right, we have one question from Jo. Ignore her, she's trying to be funny, but what cryptids have you seen? There we go.
Or in Andy's case, nearly seen.
Nearly seen. We nearly saw a big cat.
Twice.
I can honestly say, as to my knowledge, I don't know that I've firsthand seen any cryptids.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they weren't there. It's just I didn't notice them.
Yeah.
Right. So what was it?
Or what was it not?
Yeah. Or what did you nearly say?
Did I nearly see a cryptid? I honestly couldn't tell you because I haven't researched all the cryptids yet to know. But I just thought about one cryptid that I thought would be really cool to see would be in Alaska, the Thunderbird.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Be like just to see this bird fly over me that's like bigger than a Boeing jet and be like, oh hey, how's it going? I know I look like a worm to you, but I'm really not.
Please don't crap.
Yeah. Yeah. Michaela?
I have to confess, I haven't seen any cryptids. The nearest thing I've seen, which is just nothing like a cryptid whatsoever, is that I've seen a shadow person. But sorry, that's not a
Well,
cryptid.
it kind of is. I think I'd say they're classed as cryptids.
You think?
Because we don't,
More
Well,
of
if
a
we're
really
counting
know.
spirity.
shadows, then I've seen those.
We don't really know what they are or where they come from.
Yeah.
I'd say
I
spirit.
saw, yeah, because I saw one on Halloween, and I think it was what was it, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was really quite scary. It had been Halloween, and all the kids had then gone to bed, so I nipped off to the corner shop to get a bottle of wine, and I was walking back from the corner shop, and I saw it on my neighbour's fence, and it looked like it's so ridiculous. It looked like what you would imagine a kind of a troll to look like.
Right,
It had long, thin legs and a big, stocky body, and it was hunched over with a big kind of nose. And I did a kind of classic double take.
Yeah.
And then it kind of, the shadow walked down the fence and just disappeared. And I just thought, did I really see that?
Yeah.
But then really weird things happened when I got back in the house then. So
that was
my
the line,
husband and I, it was, well, yeah. I don't think I had enough of it, to be honest. We were watching.
I have seen gargoyle statues.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Ones that have come alive?
No, just the statue, as far as I know.
No. So we got back in the house, and my husband and I made him watch a horror film because it was Halloween, and we were just laid there on the couch, kind of, you know, as you do, just relaxing, watching this horror film. And I kid you not, 3 loud knocks came at the front door. Knock, knock, knock. So we both kind of jumped up because we were kind of half dozing and half watching the horror film.
Yeah.
And I said, what's that? And he went, I don't know. I went, somebody's at the door, kind of hoping that he would go. And he went, I don't know. So I got up and I opened the door, and I honestly thought it was going to be teenagers and messing about. Yeah. So I opened the door and there was nobody there. So I went, out onto the street. Well, I looked either side, there's nobody in sight. And as I came back in through the door, there were really loud footsteps that ran across my landing into the bathroom. And I thought, oh my, what are the boys up to now?
Yeah.
So what, two boys. So I ran up the stairs, ready to go. What are you doing? It's really late. And they were both fast asleep. And then I went downstairs and said to my husband, what the heck's going on? We just had that knock on the door. I've heard footsteps running across the landing upstairs. And this just sounds more and more cheesy the more I tell you, but it's absolutely true. I looked at the clock and it was exactly midnight.
Right.
So I saw the shadow figure. We came home, watched a film, 3 knocks at the door, nobody there. Came back in the house. Somebody ran across the landing. It's like, what on earth's going on there?
That's
no explanation.
You had to use the facilities.
Yeah, maybe.
I think I'd have slept in my car that night.
I think I would, yeah.
Or move out.
It was very strange, very strange.
Wow.
And do you know what? My husband, because he doesn't believe in paranormal or anything, he just went, I don't know what it was. What are you saying? We're just literally knocking on the door and running upstairs, and you're like, oh well, don't know what that was.
Fair enough. Right. that brings us to the perfect end.
It does. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's been really fun. Thank you
This
very
was
much.
a lot of fun.
Yeah. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So, we are back
Friday.
on Friday with
Lorne.
And then Saturday at what time?
Did you say 10 to midnight or did you say midnight?
Yeah, 10 to midnight.
10 to midnight. For the
10
witch
to midnight till 3 a.m. hopefully. As long as all the batteries last, it's going to be a live stream at Kingsford Cemetery. So
I'm excited.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
I can't either, but you are.
I know.
Unless it rains.
Yeah, if it's raining, if it's only a little bit, I'm still going to do it. If it's proper throwing it down, then I'm not. It's not worth it.
No.
So massive thank you for everyone coming on the show. Everyone in the chat.
Modding.
Thanks to Joe for the modding and the questions.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll see you all in 2 days' time. So we'll see you then, and we'll see you guys after the outro.
Yes.
If you can find it.
Don't be afraid.
Wait. I know I played the wrong one then. Right. See you all on Friday. Take care.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.